You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know, I never done that, man. I don't even know where they come up with that, man. And then the guy's a rat, man. He's been working for the feds for 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? Cooperate. So you can look at my paperwork, man. My paperwork. If I was ratting it, it'd be on CNN.
The BMF empire appears to be unraveling after reports emerge that Big Meech has cut ties with his son, Lil Meech, over an alleged $10 million theft. Sources close to the situation say Big Meech can no longer support Lil Meech after uncovering financial activity that may have siphoned millions from BMF accounts and deals associated with the family brand. This fallout follows ongoing speculation that money linked to the BMF name was being mishandled. Insiders allege Lil Meech leveraged his father's reputation to lock in personal deals, endorsements, and other ventures, while sidelining individuals who played a vital role in building the organization. For Big Meech, this move reportedly crossed the line. Adding to the attention is 50 Cent, who had previously alluded to financial misconduct and questionable business practices. With the recent developments, many fans are now saying 50's warnings were valid, noting comments across social media like, 50 tried to tell him, and BMF is collapsing in real time. Allegedly, Big Meech released a statement saying, "The loyalty isn't there anymore. We're done." This has sent shockwaves throughout the hip-hop community. Once viewed as a symbol of power, unity, and family, the rift between father and son marks a significant and tragic shift. Meanwhile, 50 Cent continues to observe from a distance. Rick Ross remains involved in major BMF-affiliated deals, and Lil Meech has yet to respond publicly to the claims. In a recent twist, Big Meech reportedly sent a warning to 50 Cent, instructing him to stop commenting on his son or face serious repercussions. This message followed a video released by 50 showing Lil Meech allegedly turning in a close friend to law enforcement, allowing that friend to take full responsibility for an incident. The situation intensified when the same friend came forward, aligning himself with 50 and claiming Lil Meech set him up, ultimately leading to his imprisonment. For months, 50 Cent has criticized both father and son in public, and it now appears Big Meech has reached his limit. If 50 continues to push, this feud could escalate even further. The controversy reignited when 50 posted dramatic body cam footage that appears to capture Lil Meech betraying his friend during a heated traffic stop.
He's in my bag.
In the bag?
Yes, I'm a minor, sir. I have security guards. They left that in my bag, sir. I did not pack my bag.
Well, we can get that all straightened out after the...
In the video, Lil Meech's associate is seen being arrested, accusing Meech in real time of betraying him to the officers. The footage shows Lil Meech seated in the back of a patrol car while both individuals are in custody. During the interaction, after an officer announces the discovery of a firearm, Meech can be clearly heard asking, "Did you find the other stuff?" That single question immediately raised concerns. What made matters worse is that Meech's comment prompted the officers to carry out a more thorough search of the vehicle, despite earlier stating that the firearm possession wasn't their primary issue at the time. His careless remark escalated the situation significantly, and then the story took an even more troubling turn. The same friend who ended up incarcerated following this incident has since come forward on Instagram, revealing his side of the story, using the same body cam footage that's been circulating online. The individual, who goes by the handle 3Luck, posted a series of images showing him and Lil Meech together during better times, prior to the fallout. Alongside these pictures, he made serious claims, stating that Meech cooperated with the police and left him to face legal consequences alone, including charges related to weapons and narcotics. In one of his captions, 3Luck wrote, "This is why I gotta do Fed time. Look at this. I can't stand fake people like Lil Meech. My life's trial was supposed to be real."
BMF Immortal, and it's cool. Like sometimes we switch perspectives, so it's from a law enforcement perspective.
Oh, wow.
Instead of it being from the actual hustling side, or the aspirational side.
The message clearly reflected his frustration, but the criticism didn't end there. 3Luck also took aim at Big Meech, accusing him of raising someone he described as weak and calling Lil Meech a lame. He claimed that Lil Meech allowed him to take the blame for the firearm and drugs while he was asleep in the car, unaware of what was going on. He also noted that 50 Cent backed him for bringing Lil Meech's actions to light, referring to him as disloyal. In a separate post, 3Luck shared that Lil Meech once admitted he was sorry and promised to repay him. But according to 3Luck, Those words held no real value. He continued expressing his frustration, writing, "Why were you asking the cops if they got the gun and the other stuff off me? That's not what someone loyal does." He explained that his only reason for staying close to Lil Meech was because he believed he was genuine, trustworthy, and someone worth supporting. But over time, he says, it became clear that wasn't the case. 3 Luck added that he spent large amounts of money on legal fees and bail to defend himself from charges he says were brought on by someone he once saw as a brother. Meanwhile, Lil Meech, he claimed, maintained a clean public image while privately dealing with substance issues and distractions. For 3 Luck, the betrayal went far beyond legal consequences. It was about broken trust, something that, in his view, can't be repaired. The situation became even more serious when he revealed that, because of the fallout, he not only lost money from his business but also missed key years in his child's life. All of this stemmed from what 3 Luck claims is Lil Meech's betrayal. He tied the situation back to an old phrase often used by Big Meech, writing, "These the same guys who say death before dishonor." That's just like saying, "I love you," just words. The point was clear. What was once considered a serious code of loyalty now seemed meaningless. As of now, Lil Meech has not responded publicly to any of the allegations. However, one person who did weigh in quickly was 50 Cent. In typical fashion, 50 took the moment to mock the situation online. He started by reposting a screenshot from power actor Michael Rainey Jr.'s Instagram, where Rainey made fun of Lil Meech. 50 added his own caption, "I'm proud of you, Michael. I looked at your page, LOL. See what happens when you stay clean and don't waste your money on Chrome Hearts jeans?"
He came and got me before I even knew I could even act at all, before acting was even a thought. My dad called me one day and told me that he wanted me to fly to Atlanta in his presence so I could meet 50 for the first time and see the first casting that he was doing. So I flew out there and it was lined around the street. And the first time I met 50, it was just genuine. And I sat by him and we actually got to watch people audition for a couple hours. And the next day he called me, 8 o'clock in the morning, woke me up. I'm like, damn, 50 calling me. So I answered the phone, he like, "Hey, what you think about going to acting classes? I want you to play your dad." And at first, it sounded crazy, but of course, I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing nothing, so of course I wanted to do it, I just didn't know if I could.
Just a few hours later, 50 Cent escalated things. He reshared the now viral body cam footage that allegedly shows Lil Meech shifting blame onto his friend. This time, he included screenshots from 3 Luck's Instagram posts for added context. Alongside the video, 50 wrote, "How you gonna toss your gun and drugs on your boy's lap while he's asleep? Like, here, this yours, LOL." The post gained immediate attention across the internet, but 50 didn't stop there. He returned with yet another post, this time uploading a photo from a BMF performance. His caption again took direct aim at Lil Meech. First, he goes to the airport with a gun and was caught on camera panicking. Now he's on video appearing to incriminate his own friends. And 50 Cent seems completely unbothered by the backlash.
I don't give a what you talking about.
Right.
They ain't telling on nobody. Because if you're telling, you can't even look forward to going home.
Okay, so 50 Cent blasted Lil Meech and posted video footage and evidence of him allegedly snitching on his security. The security, who ended up taking the fall for everything, said that he was asleep when Lil Meech threw everything.
The airport reference was tied to a previously leaked video from Lil Meech's 2022 arrest. In that incident, TSA officers found an unloaded gun in his luggage, even though he didn't have a valid license to carry it at the time. That situation had already started to damage his public image. Now, combined with the new body cam footage, public perception of Lil Meech has worsened. What stood out most in the airport video was Lil Meech's unusual defense. At 23 years old, he oddly argued that he wasn't legally an adult, as if that could exempt him from responsibility. The explanation didn't help and only made the incident appear more questionable. Then came a familiar celebrity response. Lil Meech asked the TSA agents if they knew who he was, loudly stating his name and seemingly trying to use his public profile to influence the outcome. The attempt fell flat and only added to the negative attention. Naturally, 50 Cent seized the opportunity. With the earlier footage already sparking debate, this airport incident gave 50 even more material for his trademark Instagram posts, and he didn't hold back. But Cent wasted no time using the situation to his advantage. But the story didn't end there. Big Meech eventually chose to get involved. After 50 publicly criticized both father and son, accusing Lil Meech of being an informant and questioning Big Meech's role as a parent, the elder Meech issued a response. He posted a series of photos featuring himself and Lil Meech, along with a bold caption, "Nothing can stop us. We all the way up." On the surface, it seemed like a united front and a message of strength. However, behind the scenes, a different narrative started to circulate. Rumors suggested that Big Meech may have reached out privately to someone from 50 Cent's inner circle. Some believed it was an effort to calm tensions or perhaps issue a discreet warning. Regardless of the intent, it signaled that this back and forth had grown beyond simple online jabs. It was beginning to resemble a strategic standoff between two high-profile figures with a long and complex history. Insiders claimed that Big Meech's private message was direct and serious. "Tell him to stop playing with my son, or else." Given that Big Meech rarely makes public threats, this alleged statement raised eyebrows. The change in tone hasn't gone unnoticed, and behind closed doors, the tension appears to be building. There are even reports that some producers tied to the BMF series have started to quietly pull back, concerned that the real-life drama might begin affecting the show. That speaks volumes about how intense the situation has become. It's also important to note that 50 Cent's attacks on Lil Meech didn't come out of nowhere. The conflict reignited earlier this year when Big Meech appeared alongside Rick Ross, one of 50's most well-known rivals. That move seemed to trigger 50 immediately, prompting him to respond by accusing Big Meech of being an informant. Cent suggested that Big Meech's prison sentence was reduced through cooperation under the First Step Act, even going as far as sharing screenshots of court documents via longtime associate Tammy Cowens to support that claim. However, the records tell a different story. There is no official evidence indicating that Big Meech cooperated with authorities. In truth, Big Meech served 27 out of a 30-year sentence, and the reduction was tied to federal sentencing reforms, not to any form of testimony or cooperation. Big Meech personally addressed the speculation during a rare interview from prison, firmly denying the allegations. He stated clearly that if he had ever cooperated, it would have been public knowledge long ago. Still, the controversy continues. Some fans believe that after nearly 30 years behind bars, it was unfair for 50 to label Big Meech a snitch. Others take the opposite view, arguing that Big Meech aligning himself with Rick Ross, a longtime rival of 50, was a serious breach of loyalty, especially considering the fact that 50 had supported Big Meech's family during his incarceration and was instrumental in launching Lil Meech's acting career through the BMF series. At the heart of this situation are loyalty, pride, and personal relationships, all fueling the ongoing tension. It's also important to note that 50 Cent has hinted repeatedly that the real issue wasn't about Rick Ross at all, but about envy. According to 50, Big Meech grew increasingly uncomfortable with how close Lil Meech had become to him. In 50's view, that jealousy played a major role in the fallout. On Instagram, 50 claimed that envy was the true factor behind the breakdown in their relationship. He implied that Lil Meech trusted him more than he did his own father, and that this was something Big Meech couldn't accept. As a result, 50 alleged that Big Meech eventually cut off his own son's financial support. Cent took his criticism, further accusing Big Meech of being a poor influence who encouraged his son's reckless habits, overspending, and experimenting with substances. In contrast, 50 positioned himself as the more responsible figure, claiming he stepped in to guide Lil Meech and prevent further decline. One of his more serious claims was that Lil Meech experienced a major breakdown due to substance use during the filming of BMF. According to 50, it wasn't Big Meech who stepped in, it was him. He stated that he was the one who arranged for Lil Meech to enter rehab and begin recovery. In a post, 50 wrote, "I've thought about it. I think he didn't like how close Meech and I had gotten. I'm telling Meech to stay off drugs. He's telling him stories about what he used to do, like, it's no big deal. I tell Meech to stop wasting money. He tells him how much he's blown. Himself. People don't realize I was the one who had to send him to rehab." The post drew attention, not just for the claims, but for how it reframed the story, portraying 50 as the person trying to protect Lil Meech, in contrast to his father's alleged influence. Even during filming, there were concerns surrounding Lil Meech. Reports indicated that crew member Russell Horn experienced elevated blood pressure and began vomiting during a weapons demonstration. In a separate incident, Ian allegedly stated that someone found whippets inside a truck, which led to confusion and concern about what was really going on behind the scenes. When Lil Meech first secured his breakout role in BMF, he frequently credited 50 Cent for helping him find direction, noting that 50 personally mentored him and covered the cost of his acting classes. Archived interviews show Lil Meech openly acknowledging 50 Cent's role in shaping his career. But despite being handed a major opportunity, reports suggest he may have misused it. Allegedly, Meech spent over $5 million within 3 years, focusing on jewelry, high-end vehicles, and designer brands, rather than making strategic investments. To many, it appeared that a valuable opportunity had been wasted. That's part of why 50 Cent's criticism struck such a nerve. He didn't just offer Lil Meech visibility, he provided structure, industry connections, and what many would consider a second chance. But the controversy surrounding the snitching accusations added another layer to an already complex situation. According to sources close to the Flannery circle, 50 is being accused of inconsistency, applying the snitch label based on personal loyalty instead of objective facts. This raises a serious question. Did 50 go too far? Was labeling Big Meech a rat simply because of his association with Rick Ross a strategic move, or just another case of extreme trolling taken too far? With public threats, reputations at stake, and tensions still rising, this conflict seems far from resolved. If you've been following this story and want more updates as it unfolds, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that explore the deeper side of hip-hop culture.